Swords were invented over 20 years ago by an angry man with mental health problems who thought that instead of talking about his problems, he could just repeatedly stab them away instead. And boy, was he right. Swords soon became very popular, and everyone wanted a shot because back in those days, talking shit was on the rise and getting hit was on the decline. They became so popular that pussies who were too afraid of stabbing someone to death and deodorant even soon got in on it, making fake swords so they could pretend to be a knight from the Middle Ages, a Viking warrior, or even just a naked maniac high on bath salts attacking people on the street. A worker carefully draws 3 very average-sized penises on some foam, being careful as to not go too large and make anyone feel inferior. The worker cuts them out and saves the excess foam for later, regurgitating it into their children's mouths like a bird. Next, they begin coating a novelty-sized pencil in old cum, taken from the shop's communal cum tin, to reinforce it, and is placed inside the sword's urethra, as this client asked for a sturdy sword, and not the company's iconic floppy boneless sword. Another piece of foam is then placed on top, creating the world's 14th most exciting sandwich, right behind the classic orangutan Big Mac. A rolling pin helps push out any excess cum that's left behind, so it doesn't drip onto the customer's fingers during a battle. Did you know that before fake swords were invented, people used a variety of substitutes instead, such as twigs, raw spaghetti, swords, and grenades? After shaping the sword, a dentist shaves off the tiny sword pubes, leaving the sword very embarrassed, as it will take years to regrow. Next, the worker tries to write their signature on the sword with a hot iron, but they keep getting nervous and starting over because the cameraman is watching and laughing. 4 layers of warm milk are sprayed on top of the foam sword, making it extremely durable because hardened warm milk is the strongest substance known to man, and diamonds have been lying to the world for far too long. The sword is then painted in sword colors. A worker then tries painting the sword with thick black paint, but quickly realizes it looked really stupid, so wipes it off before anyone sees. To try and salvage something from it, they try to cover up the mess with silver paint, but clearly miss a lot because they have much more important things on their mind, like getting home after a long day of coloring in swords, sitting down, and having a piping hot orangutan Big Mac, fresh out of the oven. This sword was made for a client the company despised, so they called them out directly as their nemesis. To make the handle, a worker spits on a metal pipe and shoves it up a piece of wood's asshole. It's a tight fit, but much like your mom, everything eventually fits when bashed repeatedly with a hammer. Strips of human skin are glued to the wood for grip, making it very easy to grab the sword, much like grabbing the leg of a baby that you're about to throw. The leather is then brushed with sandpaper to make it look old and shitty. If a customer wants a fancy-looking handle, they'll have to pay a hidden fee of $18,000 because the worker who does them really can't be bothered making them. And they have often been quoted as saying, "I swear to God, if you make me carve another skull and crossbones sword handle before I've had my orangutan Big Mac, I'm going to snap. Just wait and see. I'm going to come into the store one day with a kitchen knife and chop everyone into pieces and store you in barrels of acid." To build the sword, the fancy part of the handle erotically slides down the sword's bone, causing him to get a bit excited. The worker then briefly satisfies the ugly part of the handle because it was feeling left out, before adding it to the sword, making it into an acoustic guitar.
Thank you so much for watching if you made it this far. Unreal how much everyone liked the last one, so I made another one. And I guess if this one does well again, I'll make another one. And so on. Got ideas to make more Scottish ones that I'll do myself. I'll hopefully do them soon. And also, yes, the animation. People keep saying, you said animation would be out by now. It's very close. It's nearly done. It's nearly done. Honestly, I swear to God, it is nearly done. The animator is working on it by himself, which is mental. So I'm just waiting for him to finish, and that's that. So it's really out of my hands, but it should be soon. And moving on to the Patreon, thank yous so much to Drunk Irish Steve and Richie H. They just wanted a massive shout out, so thank yous both so much. Huge support from them too. And thank you again to all the other Patreons. You can also join the Patreon if you join the Patreon. There's a link in the description. And Aye. So there's that. Do that. Me.